Ladies and gents, girls and boys, how you doing today? Danny Stewart from bassjapandirect.com, and gonna do a very quick sound comparison on this Atelier Z short scale. This is their brand new cost performance Baby Z. They call it the Baby Z Vintage, and this is of course the Fender Japan. What's it called? The Junior Collection Jazz Bass JB62, which is a bit more expensive. This is retails at about 150,000 Japanese yen, and this retails at about 120,000 Japanese yen. So it's a bit of a price difference. Essentially, 30,000 yen difference, which is about 170 or $80 difference. So let's see if it's worth it. If it, just compare them and see what we think in terms of tonality, tone and playability. So this has an older body, whereas the Fender has a basswood body, so it's a bit of a cheaper material on the Fender. However, this is made in China. So, but even so, even though it's made in China, give it a chance, because they obviously selected a good factory, because the fretwork is just as good as the Fender Japan's fretwork, as is the cut of the nut. It's probably adjusted here in Japan as well during assembly, because they're all assembled over here and then set up. And the setup is very good. It's very, very nice indeed. That's quite nice. Yeah. That's with the tone down. Let's go with the tone up. Yeah, I quite like that rear pickup tone. All right, let's compare it with the Fender and see what we got there. So both of them have Japanese-made Alnico pickups. The Atelier Z has their own pickup. Now this one is volume tone rather than volume balance tone. So rear pickup tone down. Turn up. Yeah, so I find I like the sound of both of them. I think the Atelier to me sounds a little bit it's not quite as opaque as the Fender. But it's still very good. It's hard to know which one I like best. On the rear pickup, let's now go balanced. Okay, so that sounds a bit fluffy to me. It's got quite a light body, I notice it's a thin body as well compared to the Fender. The Fender's a little bit thicker and it's a little bit heavier as well. So although this is older and that's basswood, I think that might be why we get more of an opaque sound on this. Let's just see. Yeah, I think this is. I think this definitely sounds. It has a little bit more presence. It's not so fluffy. Definitely more opaque, which I prefer in terms of that style of playing. But yeah, if we look at the body, it's a bit thicker. So I think that might be where you're getting a bit of difference, because the pickups are basically the same kind of spec. They're Alnico 5 pickups. They're made in Japan. They're the same spacing, 60s spacing. And the neck materials are exactly the same. Let's go on the front pickup now. Tone down. Whoops. Yeah, tone up. Yeah. Yeah, that's quite nice. I quite like that for the front pickup. It's got some bite, but it's also got. It feels like it's got depth and space. Let's see about this. Tone down. Okay, let's go to the tone up. Yeah, it's again, it's got that opaqueness, but for me personally, I actually prefer that little bit of depth and more sort of width and fluffiness on the front pickup. So I prefer the sound of this on the front pickup, and the rear pickup and this kind of, I don't mind either. I think they're both kind of equally good, but for slap I definitely prefer this for a balanced sound. So you know, my conclusion is I can't make any decisions for you, but what I would say is this is 30,000 yen cheaper than this, and the build quality is is actually surprisingly close. I would say the neck materials on this Fender are a bit superior to the ones on this. I have the feeling that this maple is not as aged as long as this maple here. But the rosewood on this, I think, is more beautiful than the rosewood on this. That's just my opinion. It's difficult to see on this camera, but yeah, this is a bit darker and it has richer colors. This one's a bit lighter, but the fretwork is pretty much on a par, I would say, although there is a little bit more detail on the Japanese one. They've rounded the frets over just slightly more than they have on the Chinese one. However, this is very good. There are no sharp edges or anything. It's very neat indeed. The fit and finish, I would say the Chinese one is just as good. The fit is equally as tight. The paintwork is actually flawless on this. I would say it's probably a bit better than the paintwork on the Fender, surprisingly. So yeah, there's that too. It's a beautiful color too, in this magenta mist. These come in a few different colors. We've got in stock. We've got metallic green, magenta mist, and we've got baby blue or sonic blue. So that's it, guys. My conclusion is that while they're both they're both very good for the money. The Junior collection has been a bestseller here at Base Japan Direct, and I think just generally in Japan it's been a bestseller as well. And I can see why. I mean, they're quite affordable, and the build quality is really good, and they sound great. I do think the sound is generally just a tiny bit better than the sound of the Atelier Z there. On the whole, you know, like it's difficult, but I'm keen to see what the active version sounds like. I think that's going to be killer, and that'll be coming mid-December probably. So I'll look forward to that. Anyway, guys, that's it. So that's the Atelier Z, the all-new Baby Z vintage versus the Fender Japan Junior Collection Jazz Bass. Oh, and the other thing I would say about the Atelier Z, one thing that I definitely do not like is the pick guard. It's not a very tasteful color, and the tortoise shell effect it doesn't look particularly good. It's yeah, that's kind of a bit subpar. But apart from that, though, I like it. I even quite like the vintage style dual saddle bridge. It does its job, and I do love the colors. So yeah, I'm to be honest, I wasn't sure what to expect for the Baby Z's. So I'm not disappointed. I thought I was going to be disappointed, but I'm actually not disappointed. I think it's actually a pretty damn good instrument indeed for the money. So there you go, guys. I won't waffle anymore, and I'll see you again for another Naked Sound review. Don't forget, you can buy these instruments as linked in the Shopify carousel below if you're watching on YouTube or on Instagram. All right, that'll do it, guys. I'll see you again soon.